21st. It's Caner Tip Tuesday, and today we are on location. That's what I love about the cane. It travels so well. All you need is a small space, boom, and we can bring it to you right where you are. Before we get started today, a warm welcome to those of you who are here for the first time, as well as the loyal followers of the Cane Fist Way. Today is an exciting day because we start the new CaneFlow series. And if you don't know what CaneFlow is, stick around because chances are it has something to offer you. Before we do anything else, if you like the content, hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon. Do that now, please, so you don't miss any future content, and avail yourself. Now you don't have just one, you have two new free resources. The first one is the Cane, no cost, Cane Clarity Call. You avail yourself of that by texting the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. In less than 24 hours, my staff and I will be on the phone with you, learning what it is about this cane that attracts you. Is it the self-protection? Do you want to learn how to move better? Where are you in the timeline of your training? Do you have questions about cane? So that you get it right from the onset. It's going to save you time, frustration, and funds in getting things that you don't need. The second thing is brand new. You're going to want to do this now. There is a new group on Facebook. It's an ACSD group. It's the first one that is not at no cost, because our private groups are typically to support our caners worldwide that are enrolled in programs. But this one is called CaneFlow. Look at the description. You'll have the link. Look it up. CaneFlow. Move better, protect better, live better, and that's one of the things we'll talk about here today. But go in there and you'll be able to see what caners worldwide are doing with this component of ACSD. So let's jump right into it today. What is CaneFlow? What is it that you need to know about it? Now, from a visual perspective, that is that movement pattern. When you see caners, moving around, and in ACSD, sometimes it's referred to as the dance. Well, what happens, before you go anywhere and you say, I don't have an interest in that. I just have an interest in self-defense and self-protection. The tactical stuff you typically present, that's hidden in there. Stick around. I'll show you how it all connects. But those of you that you saw me move around like that and you say, I can't move like that. I'm in a wheelchair. I just don't have that mobility. I'm too old. I'm too slow. I'm too beat up. I have too many injuries. Stick around as well. Because that makes up a portion of ACSD caners. Let me go over the components. And CaneFlow it stems from the premise that better movement with this tool gives you the potential to protect better. When you can protect better, your confidence level from knowing what you know from the training goes up. It increases, and when you have that confidence, now you have the peace of mind, knowing that when you have this tool in your hand, you are empowered. And so it comes from there. The emphasis is on movement and understanding why you're doing what it is that you're doing. So one of the first components is just the handling of it. Handling in ACSD refers to the skillful use of the tool, of the cane, and moving, and having that cane do what you want it to do, when you want it to do, ambidextrous both sides. So because you have to train both sides, CaneFlow is brain training. Tied into that is the footwork. And the footwork doesn't refer to, a lot of times with this tool, it's not just, this is very basic and elemental, but sometimes the footwork is more flowing, sometimes it's up and down, sometimes it's removing the target so that you don't get hit and you don't get countered, and you're doing it all rhythmically with the use of the tool. Here's the difference between what we do with this cane. If you're just brand new to these, you say, well, baton twirling, nooping, all those things they have their place, they're fun. They're not part of what we do. The difference is that these movements have tactical principles, and I'll demonstrate what I mean. So, if you would assist me out here, he'd go, take something so simple as figure eights, and everybody more or less does figure eights. We like for you to have the ability to go from the shaft to the horn and crook and back. See how I do that from the shaft, and now I'm on the crook and I go right back up and I can climb up or down. That's called choking up. It's one of the skills. When you look at this, one thing is to practice it here. Another thing is when he draws a knife. See the knife, hold it up on the camera there. And I'm just gonna switch here just in case, because safety always first. I'll trade you. See the padded drone? Same thing, we're going from here to here. One thing is to handle and get it in the neuromuscular system. Another thing is to have the knowledge that, hey, figure eights are composed of 2 power shots, a 1 and a 5. Right? And so that doing this, it changes when I'm here now, and I see this, and I go, back off! Listen. You hear it? Hear it? And it's tight. I don't leave myself open. So there's an attention to tactical principles. There aren't wrong ways to move for the sake of movement. There aren't wrong ways to move with that cane. There are better ways to move with a cane. What is incorrect, as per ACSD, is you could have a violation of tactical principles. So if you take something like that figure eight and you're doing something that looks like this, you say, what's the problem there? Right, and you're coming all the way out here. Well, when we do that, those elbows are tight in, and we really focus on this. It's like a trained fighter. We're not throwing shots from out here. We're keeping it tight in our guard zone. There's a rhythm, there's timing to it, but you have to have understanding of what it is that you're doing in the movements. A lot of the movements teach multiple principles, if I may. You're going to want yourself a cane as well. And so when you look at things like this, right, in the handling, and there's, right, and you say, well, this reverse grip, I mean, what's that all about? What about movements that are coming? Set it down first. But if I'm dealing here with him, and he comes in to throw a shot, I move from there. Look at the shot. I wasn't a reverse grip. I don't have the time to turn my cane, move it around. I can move and strike and not be there. And I'm using the leverage of the leg of the tool, but I'm also getting out of the way, and I'm positioning myself in such a way that I can hit and not get hit. When you see a lot of this, right, and you see, oh, this movement, this figure eight, well, there was a strike, he's bringing it over. Well, it's not looping it over. This comes from the 12 strike and defend zone template ACSD caners are familiar with, but anything that's coming in here, it's how I move out of the way for either one so that I can come in now and not get hit. And it's, right? So when I'm moving, there it is, it's leaving me to the inside. Another component of the flow is the principle always in ACSD that if we just take what we were doing, the cane teaches the empty hand. So when you see it done without a cane, it's called fist flow, and it has very similar movements here that teach anything that's coming in and how to handle that. Right, so that same thing that we were doing with the cane here can also be done to either one of the sides. Anything that's coming in, right, moving in. And this figure eight that we were just doing, well, those are power shots 1 and 5, which the empty hand system teaches as a palm heel shot, or it also teaches it as a hammer fist. And it doesn't matter, 2 hands that are coming in, he's opening up to go ahead. Well, that's your one coming down. He comes in. Well, that's you're knocking that down with a 5 before you're coming back up here with a number 3 to the inside, as an example. So hidden in the movements are the actual applications to it. Now, you'll see it a lot done. You'll see it a lot done to music. Right, so it looks like we refer to it as the dance. Anytime you see this component here, notice that the hand comes up. I'm using one example, there are many. You're dealing with multiple assailants. Spinning in ACSD is telling the viewer that, hey, multiple assailants, we do have a concern for that, and we have a concern for covering the computer. So that, again, is one of the things that differentiates it. There's an aspect of creativity, of spontaneity, and it always needs to be done in a joyful manner. What it is not martial art form or katas that are done. ACSD has a 6-form system, but flow is not that. Flow is spontaneous, it's creative. We always say it comes from the heart. It doesn't follow from here you go to here, from A you go to C, B to C, so on and so forth. Once you have the principles, you are going to get going with that. So what happens when you're doing this? Well, again, movement improves. We believe that awareness of how you move with the tool is the mother, it's the doorway to better movement. Awareness of how you move. If you don't know how you move, if you don't analyze the way that you move, you're not aware of it, there's no way to improve that movement. CaneFlow is the key that opens that door. Many of the pain patterns, and I'm speaking now, when I say this, we don't make medical claims. I'm speaking now from the perspective as a licensed healthcare professional. I can tell you that many of the pain and movement difficulties in patterns a lot of times come not from structural issues, but from learned movement patterns that you're stuck in those patterns. To get out of that, to reset the nerves, this is one of the ways to free yourself from that suit, so to speak, that's keeping you tight in there. So that's an intro into CaneFlow. It is the most misunderstood component of ACSD, but it is also the fastest growing. And now you know why. It has different components to it. So if moving better, increasing your circulation, better functional fitness, moving with less restriction, better self-protection, all equate to living better. That's what it's all about, and you're going to enjoy this series. And again, two things you want to do. Avail yourself of that call, CCC to 305-745-7839, and then go to the description, and you're on Facebook. It's a free group. You can't beat that. Get in that group. Look up CaneFlow, and that's where the party is happening here. So looking forward to it. Thank you always for watching. Keep caning. Stay safe.